Now pin back your ears and listen, because I'm going to tell you a story. It's all about the railways. Did you know every single day over 18,000 trains use our railway system? Amazing, isn't it? Now, I do a great deal of rushing around the country from place to place, and I can't think of a nicer, more comfortable way of doing that than in a really good train. But my story really is about something else, or rather someone else. A lad called Robbie. A right terror was Robbie. Always into something, know what I mean? Got stuck up a tree. The firemen had to come to get him down. Even they couldn't work out how he'd made it that far. Thought he'd rescue a stray dog one day. Well, it looked like a stray. But the blooming dog lived right the other side of town, so Robbie got completely lost, of course. And his mum ended up fetching him from the nick. Fell in a pond, didn't he? And it had to be the stinkiest, pongiest pond in the whole district. Drove his mum half wild, did Robbie. When he wasn't getting stuck up things, or losing himself, or playing hippos in the mud, there were two big things in Robbie's life. One was football. He wasn't half bad, they said. Not bad at all for an 8-year-old. One or two people reckoned he stood a chance of making professional one day. And the other thing was trains. Crazy about trains he was. Even the old steam locos he'd never even seen in real life. Even a picture seemed to come alive. Robbie read about trains and watched them on the telly, and went down to the station to see them now and then. So one way and another, he knew a bit about the terrific changes there'd been. Automatic signalling, rails welded into long sections to give a nice smooth ride, and all sorts of brand new things, and brand new trains come to that make the railways faster and faster, more and more exciting. He even wondered about being a driver himself one day. But soccer came out top. Even Mum didn't mind the mud then, so long as he kept some of it outside the house. Well, what with everyone saying how good he was and him knocking up quite a fair goal average in the local team, you never know. We might have a soccer star in not so many years' time. Even his brother and sister showed up at one match. Of course, they were just passing, they said, just when Robbie was kicking a dead-easy penalty. And then, of course, he blew it, didn't he? Nearly died of shame. Made up for it later, though. Smacked in that goal just before the final whistle. And you know, he could have sworn he saw them cheer. Well, nearly. Robbie didn't know it, of course, but that was the last goal he'd ever score. Come to that, the last game he'd ever play. Because things went wrong on the way home, you see. Big brother Bert reckoned he knew a shortcut. That was okay, till the shortcut brought them to the railway line. "We can't cross that," said Robbie. "Course we can," said Bert. "Look, there's a huge great hole in the fence." "And another hole on the other side," Sally chipped in. Robbie argued. "The kids who made those must be stupid." "It wasn't kids," said Jake. "It was grown-ups." I saw them do it so's to get across to the pub. Well, they're still stupid, Robbie argued. It's just plain stupid going across a railway. You chicken then, asked Bert. Chicken soccer star? Sally joined in. Chicks United, bottom of the 4th Division? Oh, look, he's going all red. Oh, all right, shouted Robbie. That's the stuff, said Bert. Come on, it's easy when you know how. Easy as crossing the road. Just look both ways, right? Anyway, you'd soon hear a train coming. Not if there's 2 of them, said Robbie. You'd never hear the second one. Oh, clever, aren't you, said Bert. Okay, everybody?
Mrs. Hayward?
Yes?
Mrs. Ruth Hayward?
Yes? But what have you been up to? Where are the others?
The lad's had a bit of a shock, love.
What do you mean? What's going on?
Do you think we could talk inside?
Yes, of course.
The coppers have some rotten jobs sometimes. Like ringing a doorbell and telling a mum her boy won't be home for a long, long time.
For God's sake, what's happened? Where's Robbie? Where's Sally?
Your Robbie's had an accident, I'm afraid. A bit of a nasty one.
He's not...
No, he's alive, but he's very poorly. It happened on the railway.
Where is he? I've got to see him.
No, that wouldn't be a good idea, love. Not just now. He's in hospital. You can't see him, not yet.
Who says I can't see him? I'm his mother. I've got a right.
Sorry, love. Look, he's badly hurt. You'd only be in the way.
Oh, dear God. Is it as bad as that?
I know it's hard, but all we can do is wait. They've promised to phone the moment there's any news. Tell you what, I'll put the kettle on.
But what happened?
It's best not to go into all that now.
I've got to know. What the hell happened?
Well, we haven't got...
What happened?
Yet, but it seems the kids...
Well, the copper didn't tell it all, of course.
Anyway, a train...
But Robbie had lost both
The others
feet
managed to get
and
clear.
broken half the bones in his body.
Oh, dear Christ.
And Sally was in hospital too, they said. No, she wasn't hurt. But all of a sudden, she couldn't speak, you see. Not a word. She just lay there and stared. Didn't seem to notice anything.
Best to drink it up, love. It'll do you good. You've had a bit of a scare.
Bert ought to drink up his tea and keep warm, they said. He'd had a nasty fright.
Sorry, love. They asked me to bring these back.
It could be you've seen men working on the tracks. They're trained to the job, and lots of them have done it for 20, 30 years or more. All the same, in spite of their training, you even hear of them being hurt or killed sometimes. So what price your chances? It can be dodgy enough crossing a road these days. A railway track is something else. Let's see for a moment what a train driver sees. That green signal tells him it's all clear ahead. No other trains are in his way. He's on a fast stretch. He's got a timetable to run to, so he must follow the signals and keep up his speed. Then he sees track workers ahead. They wear those orange waistcoat things to make them stand out. But look, even they can be hard to spot. And a train travelling at any speed could never stop in time to miss them. Robbie knew a bit about railways, but he didn't know it all. He didn't know, for instance, how easily you can slip on rails, or stones, or sleepers, or how silently trains can come at you. A lot of people don't know how the sound of one train can drown the sound of another travelling on the other track, or how you can get trapped in points, because they're often worked automatically from miles away, or that a train can't stop anything like as quickly as a car. Poor old Robbie was right about one thing at any rate. Anyone who makes a hole in a railway fence or breaks it down is just plain stupid. Boy, girl or grown-up, 5, 15 or 50 makes no odds, they're stupid. Because it's holes like these that hurt and kill. Not just older kids, but the family dog, or the baby brother or sister who don't know where they're walking, or where their walk is going to end. Robbie still keeps his boots. Nobody knows why. Not even Robbie. After all, they'll never be any use to him. Chances are he'll spend the rest of his life in his wheelchair.